Welcome to the short program for mobility. If you feel like you just need to move your body and you want to get the joints going, this is the program for you. I'm just going to take you through a short sequence to just mobilize the joints. We're going to stand with the feet a little bit wider than the shoulders, and we want to try and stand with good posture. Keeping the arm bent, we'll start on the right. We're just going to draw a circle with the right shoulder. And what you want to do is invite the body to move through the right leg, and you want to pick up the heel, turn the hip, so you feel like the body is flowing together. This is way more productive than just standing still and doing a circle. Bring the hip into the movement, get the joints to move together, because that's when the joints are most happiest. One more, and then we'll do the other side. So we're keeping the elbow bent so we don't strain the joint. And your shoulder might feel a little bit crunchy. Mine is definitely a little bit crunchy, but that's why we keep moving. We lubricate the joints. I'm still turning that hip, so I've got that kind of flowing movement. Let's do two more. Last one. And release. Now I'm just going to rotate side to side. And the most important thing about this is that you're picking up your feet. So your heel comes up to allow the movement through the full chain. Think nose to toes movement whenever you're trying to do mobility. Let's do two more. Last one. And release. Now we're going to take the right leg and we're going to step it back so it's about 45 degrees and then step it in. Step it back. So we're starting to open the hip. As I step back, the right leg is bending. And then to make it feel a little bit more normal, a little bit more rhythmical, I'm going to bring in the arm. And the arm's going to swing. And that's going to start to open the chest and shoulder. Then I take it a step further, and as I go back, I pivot that front leg, so now I get into that rotational plane, and I come back. So I step, I rotate, and I come back. This is a perfect sequence to do in the mornings when you want to just get the body going. Let's do one more. And let's do the other side. So we start the 45 degree. We're just trying to get the hips to move. So we start the 45 degree out turn out. Then we add a little bit of momentum, which is that arm swing coming through gravity. And then we layer on and we start to turn the front leg, so we pivot the hip. And now we get the full rotational line. Great for your spine, your chest, your hips, sending that blood flow through. Let's do two more. Last one. And release. Now we're going to find a functional squat pattern. And functional squat, the feet should actually be wider than your own pelvis. So not parallel, wider than the pelvis, slight angle of the toes. The toes are about 5 after on a clock. And I'm going to glide the hip away from me and then stand up. And it's really important that you feel that your hips are gliding back, because you don't want your knees to go forward. So sit away and come up. And if you feel restricted, why don't you try taking your feet a little bit wider so you get that movement through the hip. Now the problem with a squat is that it's impacted by your ankle mobility. So you might have great hip mobility, but if you've got restricted ankle mobility, then you won't be able to squat deep. We're going to do two more wherever your squat is. One more, and then we're going to stay down. Now, typically in a deep squat, it actually becomes a resting pattern. And you kind of lift your heels and you walk your feet in a little bit and you just rock the hip from side to side. You might be able to touch the floor, but then we have to stand up and we have to use the glutes. So push the heels into the ground and stand up. Now, if that wasn't for you, you would find your end point and you would just rock side to side by lifting the heels. You'd push into the heels, you'd stand up, and then we'd finish with a nice rotation. Should be a little bit warmer, more blood flow. And that was our short program for quick mobility.